remember watching you, Justin, when you were on the point on the power play when you were first year. I was living in Vancouver and I came back at Christmas and I went just to watch a game and you were running the point on the power play and you were in your first year and my dad was telling me who you were and where you grew up and all that stuff. I was like, wow, the calmness of this guy being able to run the power play on the point. You were 16, I think, at the time. Unbelievable. I was impressed, just incredible. And when I always think of a guy in a situation like that where you're one of the youngest guys on the team, but you're on the point running the power play, so obviously the coaching staff trusts you and things like that, but being able to I don't know, I guess just being able to fulfill that role and not get too ahead of yourselves and be able to do it for the next 4 years in Halifax, I think that's a great quality in a person. Because sometimes some, 16-year-old can get a little, you're in your head a little bit too much. I'm all that in a bag of chips, but for yourself to stay humble and stay who you are and true to yourself and run a power play and do it for the next 4 years, go to the World Juniors, get drafted first round, I think that's awesome. And that's a characteristic I think that's rare in today's society, especially at that age. I love talking to young junior guys who are 16, 17, and to have that composure, I think that's wicked. So the question following that statement is, I guess, just about your upbringing and your parents and some of the things that they instilled in you guys. Because whenever your name gets brought up in the HRM, you guys are in the hockey community. It's great kids, great guy. Morgan's a little tall, but other than that, it's a great guys. That's all I hear about. So I guess just talk about your upbringing and some of the things that your parents instilled in you. Did I use that word correctly? What's the word I should be using?
You said it with enough confidence.
I said it with confidence? Yeah. That's all that matters. There you go. So, yeah, talk about that.
Yeah, I think our parents they were awesome for us. I think the big thing they stressed was, always treat people how you want to be treated, treat them with respect. And, I think just growing up, they instilled really good values in us. I know they always, really emphasized school, especially even in our early days over hockey. They always, they want us to get an education. Obviously, he's got his already from Cornell, and I'm still working on mine from St. Mary's.
You got that Rockingham education. You're good to go.
Yeah, exactly. But they were awesome. I was fortunate to live at home here the last few years, and they definitely played a big part in all my success.
What about you?
Yeah, I mean, they've donated so much time and so much money to our careers that I think looking back on it now, that now I'm making a little bit of money, you realize it's freaking expensive to live and to eat, but the amount of money that they've put into us to just not only help us develop and get to the point where we are, but just to let us do the things that we love to do. I still remember Dad building the backyard rinks and Mom waking up at freaking 6 a.m. to take us to practice and stuff. I mean, they've donated so much, just so much to us, and I know we're both very grateful for that. And I know you just see so many different parents in the hockey world who, some of them don't want to push their kids hard enough, and some might push the kids too hard. But especially around Pee Wee and Bantam, I think that's when my dad really figured out, he doesn't need to be too hard on us because we're pretty hard on ourselves. And I remember getting in the car, and one day he would always, and it still is like this for me after my games, but the first thing he always says is hey, bud, how do you think the game went? How'd you do? What'd you feel out there? And he kind of lets me answer for myself before he starts, starts throwing things at me. And, to me, I think that made me realize, we're almost always on the same page. If he's watching one of my games and I think I played poorly, he lets me say it first, and then he agrees with me the majority of the time. And if not, we kind of hash out and talk about it. But just having someone like that who I can kind of bounce ideas off of and really, just hash things out with him, I think is good. And then having Mom there, Mom's always a little bit more positive, no matter whether it's good or bad.
I think all moms are. It's all right.
I mean, I could go out there and just put up a stinker, and she'd be like, "Oh, great game, sweetie. I thought you looked great out there." So they're just so good and just so supportive all the way up.